three words that I would like to look at that people who speak Isizulu have borrowed and are using as they speak Isizulu. But something interesting about these three words is these three words are Afrikaans, but they also have English counterparts that are also used by Isizulu speakers. So this illustrates the point that sometimes when people speak a language, they decide, no, I would rather borrow from that language, and other speakers would say, no, I would borrow from that language. Okay, in this case, three words being borrowed from Afrikaans, but the counterparts of these three Afrikaans words in English also borrowed by Isizulu speakers. Sometimes, and this might in fact be the case, closer to 1994, the Afrikaans words were used more often by Isizulu speakers. But as English started growing in power, according to the ruling party's linguistic practice, Isizulu speakers started borrowing these same three words that they earlier borrowed from the Afrikaans language. They started using the English counterparts when they wanted to refer to these specific things that I will mention now to you. The first word is ifasitela. Ifasitela comes from the Afrikaans word venster. There you have it again. Venster. You hear the R? Venster became L in Isizulu. Venster became ifasitela. But many Isizulu speakers do not use the word ifasitela anymore. They prefer the English imfagela, ibizo lemfagela, which is iwindi. Ngicela ukuthi ningivulele iwindi. Okay? They don't use ifasitela anymore. Maybe it's the older people who prefer speaking about ifasitela. When was the last time you heard somebody use that word? People speak about iwindi. Okay, this is our first example. Second example, ipulazi. Do you know the word? Ipulazi. Uhlalaphi wena? Cha, ngihlala eplazini. Okay, ipulazi. Okay, this word was borrowed from the Afrikaans language and specifically the word plaas. Waar woon jy? Nee, ek woon aan die ander kant op die plaas. Uhlalaphi? Hlala ngale eplazini. Plaas, that is the word. In recent years, I've heard Isizulu speakers not using the word ipulazi or eplazini, but they borrow from English. Cha sihlale famini. Borrowing from English, okay? But I'm indicating now to you how people, when they borrow words, sometimes they would borrow from the one language and then they would shift to another language. So the word ipulazi comes from the Afrikaans word plaas. And then our third and last example now is the word itilongo. Do you know the word itilongo? Etolongweni. I'm sure you know it. And this word again, see the r was dropped, it was elided, it became an L in Isizulu. So the word itilongo comes from the Afrikaans word tronk. T-R-O-N-K. Tronk. And the r, very strong r in the Afrikaans language. Tronk. And it became itilongo. When was the last time you heard people use that word? It seems as if most people, Isizulu speakers, have dropped the word itilongo and they speak about ijele. Ukuphi? Awu cha, hey, maye babo, usejele. They prefer ijele. So, three examples of words borrowed, first from Afrikaans, but it seems as if the popularity has now shifted for these three words to their English counterparts. Another word of encouragement to Isizulu linguists and language practitioners. Bawethu, mkhulu umsebenzi ukuthi niqambe amagama amasha ukuze kudlondlobale olukamthaniya ulimi. IsiZulu soqobo singakhulumi ingxube evange, singakhulumi isishalambombo, sikhulume isiZulu esiphusile bakwethu. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.